Good afternoon. My name is Holly Dennany, and I am pleased to welcome you all to our weekly Lunch and Learn program, which is sponsored by Family Partners of Morris and Sussex County. For those of you joining us for the first time, we are glad you're with us. For those who are returning, you know what we're looking for today. This is an opportunity to have lunch with an expert. Every week we bring programs to you that help folks who are dealing with children with challenges. We bring resources to you. We want to introduce concepts. We want to introduce organizations. And the concept, as I said, is lunch with an expert. So we understand if you keep your camera off because you're nibbling on your lunch, that's an okay thing. However, I will say we love to see smiling faces. So if you're able to turn your camera on, please do so. Today's topic is, I'll back up a second. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we did a special series of programs this month on the children's system of care and all the wonderful services that are provided to families with no out-of-pocket expense, as well as we wanted to give you some background information on how we work together. So we started our series off the first week of May talking about Kayak, all of the organizations that fall under that, and the communication that happens, the collaboration that happens, and the shared funds that go on with that. We talked about the second week, mobile response and stabilization, how that service works, how families get into that service, what happens when they're in the program. And that was very helpful information. And we also did the following week, we talked about care managers. That's a very important part of the process. So care managers did a presentation on what happens when families come to them, what services are available, and just talked about the intention behind, which is coming in to stabilize the family, to get them on their feet, to move on to the next step of healing and looking for better tomorrow. So today's program, we are talking about family support organizations, which of course, Family Partners of Morris and Sussex County is one such organization. We are one of 15 in the state. And we thought it would be nice to talk about how we fit into that system of care, but also to give you a little insight into what exactly a family support partner does, as far as what the intention is, but behind our involvement in the process, and also just giving you a little bit of information on the certifications that family support partners have, in addition to the life lived experience that we can bring to the discussion. So I am very pleased to have with me today several members of the Family Support or the Family Partners of Morris and Sussex County team who are going to take turns talking to you about different parts of our organization and how we work. I will remind you that we are recording today's program in hopes that you can share it with families who you think it might be helpful to, or sometimes I think it's helpful for providers to fully understand, educators, counselors, that kind of thing. So we will be recording today's program. So Krista, why don't you, we've got team members that will be introduced as we go, but Krista, can you start the slides? We have some slides that we're going to be sharing, which are basically just talking points. I would invite you to, through the course of our conversation, if you have a question, please drop it in the chat. You know, this is for us, our goal here is to help you understand how we fit into the system and the services that we provide a little bit better. So family support organizations, as I mentioned, there are 15 in the state. Some cover 1, some cover 2, some cover 3 counties. We, of course, provide services for Morris and Sussex County. Next slide, Krista. Let's see, family support organizations. We are family-led. We also are peer support, right? So we're a little bit different than we come to the table for providing assistance to the caregiver, not the youth, but we are part of a wraparound approach coming to the table to provide support to families who have youth between the ages of 3 and 21. Next slide, Krista. The other important part of that, we are a part of a larger system. And as we learned about the first week of May in the presentation on Kayak, which if you did not see that presentation, it is available on our on our YouTube channel, or shoot me a note and I can send you the link. But all of these different entities come together on a regular basis to compare notes on what we're seeing, to compare notes on challenges, and also to brainstorm solutions and how we can work together to address what we're seeing and what our youth are challenged with. Next screen, please. I know, Krista's like, yeah, here we go. Okay, so that's a general overview. Next, I would like to introduce to you Margarita Acosta, who is our supervisor for the Family Support Partners, who's going to talk to us a little bit about just the process and how folks get to us, and then once they get to us, sort of what happens. So Margarita, take it away.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. As Holly said, my name is Margarita, and I'm the Family Partners Coordinator. And I would like to share with you about how we are part of the Department Children and Families, and how we help the department in this work. So as you see here, New Jersey have Department Children's and Families, and is for the Department Children's and Families is DCPMP or DIFES. Some people still remember by the name DIFES. Now call it DCPMP or DCPP. So they are in charge of protect the kids. And if you see, we have here CSAC, Children's System of Care. That is us, and Children's System of Care is to prevent and help the families and children. So when families are in CSAC, they have any specific need for the youth. It is mental health, or can be drugs abuse, or can be behavioral. They can call to perform care. They be referred to perform care, and perform care will make an intake to decide what kind of level of services the family will have in the children's system of care. For families in New Jersey to get and perform care, there is different ways. Parents can call and ask for the services. A school can refer the families there to call, or they can call and ask for the services. When the children are in the hospitals can call and ask for the services. So it's different ways to get perform care. So when the families are in perform care, as I say, the families will receive an initial intake, and that initial intake, they're gonna determine what kind of levels of services the families need. So if you see here, you will see CMO, which is Care Manager Organization, MRSS, Mobile Response, and FSO, which is us. And I want to mention something here. You're gonna see these letters like a CMO and MRSS and FSO, and then you're gonna listen different names as well. And I wanna say why. Each county in New Jersey have a care manager organization. As Holly mentioned at the beginning, some counties are together, some CMO have 3 counties in charge, or 2 counties in charge, or 1 county in charge. It depends on the number of the population. So our county, our CMO and FSO, we are Morris and Sussex. So in our area, in Morris and Sussex, our office, the name is Caring Partners. And our FSO, which is us, our name is Family Partners. I just want to clarify that because sometimes it's like a tricky to it's a lot of names. So
and we like acronyms, don't we, Margarita? We really like acronyms.
Yeah, and it's kind of difficult. And I will tell you, Holly, and everybody, as a parent, when I started to navigate the system, all of those things was completely wow. And I say, what is this? Why a lot of names? That's why I am trying to just land it up a little bit. Okay, so I just telling that we have perform care, and perform care will determine the level of services. So sometimes families just go right away to mobile response. Mobile response is more like stabilization. I'm sorry, my pronunciation sometimes.
No, that's okay, but I love that too, Margarita, because it's mobile response and stabilization services, right? So that's a very different service. And again, we have a whole program on that. If you'd like to know more information about that, please reach out or please check our YouTube channel, because it was a very comprehensive presentation on that. So Margarita, what I love, part of what you're saying too, is that it's so specialized depending on the family, right? There's no, when someone calls perform care, it's not always the same thing that happens. Like they really evaluate what's happening,
yeah,
and then they determine the best place for the family to go. So that's a very important part.
You're
Right.
totally right. They make an initial intake. They send to the houses people who knows how to do the intake and determine if they need just like a stabilization,
Stabilization.
stabilization. Thank you. Services. So they put in place mobile response. But if they need more longer services and more intensive, they will assign CMO, care manager organization. So FSO, who we are part of, how we are part of those, all these work. Family partners are open to all communities. We always provide information for the families about how they can navigate the system, how they can call to perform care and ask for the services and explain about children's system of care. And then we also work together with CMO. CMO, when they get the families, when the families enter to the system, we have the families as well. And we offer for those families peer-to-peer support. That means that we, as a care manager organization, assign a family care manager for the families. Family partner will assign a family partner for the family. And as Holly mentioned, we are here for the parent. We are not clinical. We are parents like them who have children who has been in the system. And our goal is provide education, advocacy, and support. And we have other services that you're gonna listen today from other coworkers. So this is like the first overview that I want to share with you today. So now I want to introduce Diana Vargas. She is one of our family partners, and she's gonna talk about what is being a family partner.
I'm going to jump in too, Margarita, and say, if I can, Diane, I'm going to state the obvious. We are very blessed on our team to have several bilingual family support partners, which is a really important benefit because, as you know, we have a diverse population, and we really are quite fortunate in our organization that we have a few folks who are bilingual. So we're very grateful for that, and also in honor and admiration of those who have more than one language. So Margarita, thank you for that. And I think, I'm not sure if I mentioned in the beginning, this is an overview of family partners of Morris and Sussex. I can guarantee you we will not cover everything. And if you have questions, like I said, drop them in the chat, call afterwards. And Margarita had mentioned that we are able to help when people maybe aren't sure what to say when they call Perform Care. We do offer a warm line. We will provide that number at the end of the presentation. But if you are unsure about what to say or whether it's appropriate to call, that is another option that we provide. So Diane, I'm sorry I stepped on your toes, but we would love to have you tell us more about family support partners. Take it away.
Thank you, Holly, and thank you, Margarita, for the introduction. Basically what Holly said, I'm going to give a brief overview on the role of family support organizations. So family support organizations do assist families to access services through the children's system of care. Another acronym there is, sometimes you might hear somebody go CSOC. That just is the children's system of care. I have a lot of parents that'll be, there's a lot of letters in everything we talk about.
Yeah.
So we utilize the wraparound philosophy. So we providing support to the families through peer-to-peer support, like Margarita said, peer support group, educational workshops. Also, the majority of the FSO staff and boards are caregivers who have navigated child serving systems. So we do bring those lived experiences and expertise with working with the families. I know when I first make an original call to a family, I always like to say to them, listen, we all have a journey, and my journey is not exactly the same as yours, but I understand, and I'm here to support you in any way that I can. Krista, you can go to the next slide. So basically what we do is we try to help families in getting a better understanding of what their child's needs are and their child's strengths. A lot of times, I think when we work with families, sometimes families are so focused on what's happening at that moment they not only forget their child's strengths, they forget their own strengths. So we're there to remind them that you have strengths and then build on those. We want to help them understand their rights and responsibilities within the children's system of care, help them communicate more effectively with schools as far as IEPs and different agencies that they deal with. We also like to connect them with other community resources to assist their children and their youth who have behavioral or mental health challenges, involvement with the juvenile justice system. And we'd like to connect them with sustainable resources moving forward. So, you know, a family is empowered by the time FSO services are completed and they transition. That family is empowered to move on by themselves. Krista, the next slide. We do have family experience. We have our own traveled road with this, but we also are certified. And we are certified through the state of New Jersey and the Department of Children and Families. Each FSO has a certified nurtured heart approach trainer. Each FSO has members that are mental health first aid trained, and all FSO members are trauma informed. Next slide.
I think that's an important point too, right, Diane? I mean, I think obviously the lived experience is a unique skill that we bring to the table, but there's a lot of training that's involved that usually takes almost better part of a year, right, with the certifications on many, many different topics. So the training and the resources are solid.
Right. And there's a initial certification, there's a recertification. So it's not like one and done. We're continually learning and, to help our families.
Tools that we bring to the scenario, right, Diane? There's a lot of tools in our toolbox.
Exactly. As you can see by this slide, we have been able to provide peer-to-peer support for many families. FSO also provides peer support to any family in the community through support groups, workshops, and warm lines. And there are 115 support groups per month throughout New Jersey. So I just wanted to reiterate that point, because I know as a family partner, I will have somebody call and say, well, I don't have CMO, so I can't utilize you. You cannot utilize me as far as a peer-to-peer partner, but you can utilize all of our support groups, our youth partnership, our lunch and learns, our Facebook page. Those are all accessible to you if you are not involved with the complete system.
And, Diane, too, I want to point out that we also, if perhaps one of our support groups doesn't meet families' time constraint or special need, we are in the pipeline with a lot of other organizations that offer support, and we are more than happy to make recommendations on that, especially with other family support groups in the state. Now virtually it's anybody can go, right? It's convenient. So if you don't see what you need on our website, please ask, because we are happy to find the connection for a family to gain support.
Thank you, Holly. As you can see by this slide, our goal is to have families that are satisfied with the work that we have done with them. I myself know when I transition a family who is empowered, it brings me a sense of joy, because I know that I'm sending a family on their journey and they are well equipped to take care of their family with resources and everything that we were able to supply. Also, I just wanted to make people aware that once our families do transition, they have an option of a warm line. So if there happens to be a question or they need additional support, there's always that. It's not like we say you're transitioned, goodbye. There is always an open door to come back and have support or questions from, And
We like to track it. I want to point this out too. Because we're involved with this state, there were a lot of data collection points. There's a lot of surveys on satisfaction, and there's constant improvement in our processes. Everything that we do is based on data as far as what has worked. And when things don't work, there are adjustments made. So, I mean, I don't know about you, Diane, but I think this slide indicates that we do on a regular basis check in with how we are doing and how our processes are doing. So there's a lot of science behind the entire system and a lot of data collection, which I think speaks to, we have many other states that come to us to model our children's system of care and the wraparound program. So I think we have a lot of reason to be proud.
You know, and exactly, Holly, because I do believe we survey our parents to make sure we're doing a good job. We do reach out to them to say, what are we doing? Can we do better? Where can we improve? So exactly. At this point, I would like to introduce my colleague, Patricia Houston, and she is going to go through the assessment, or what you would technically call the FANS.
Much, Diane, and thank you to every single person here for taking the time and spending this awesome time learning about FSO. So thank you for the opportunity. So basically what you have in here, as you can see, is the FANS. The FANS is basically just a family assessment, and it's basically to have better understanding about the family's needs and also their strengths. So basically, when the FSP complete the assessment, it's not a clinical assessment. It's just based like a conversation that we have with the family. And in that assessment is the family voice, it's not our voice. So when we're doing the FANS, we want to make sure that we have good understanding about what the family's needs are. And based on those needs is that we start pulling resources to assist the families. I think this is an amazing tool that we utilize because it helps us to kind of understand exactly what resources we can guide through the family. And basically, another important thing about the FAN is this is not something that we have to do it and it's going to be done and that's it. This is something that can be adjusted. As we understand, life is a roller coaster. So if something changes today, we make some changes as well. So this is basically the FANS. If anybody has any question about the FANS, I'm more than happy to go over, but this is just for you guys to have better understanding. This is an overview about the FANS. It's nothing clinical. It's just to have, you know, like I say, better understanding about the family's needs and strengths, and then we'll take it from there.
Patricia,
Yeah,
if I can,
and, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, Margarita.
Yeah, I just want to add it to Patricia. Thank you for all of this information. We basically provide education, advocacy, and support. So our funds are based on that. We want to know on those areas how we can support the families there. And the other thing is we focus on the need, but as well the strengths, because our families, all of us have a strength. Maybe when we are in crisis, for us it's difficult to identify them. So we help the families as well to make a potential there and recognize again that, yeah, we have potential, we have a strength. So we utilize those three specific areas: education, advocacy, and support. And all is with the purpose to help parents to be empowered and navigate by themselves their own situation.
Marguerite, there's that saying that, you know, I think we teach them to fish, we don't fish for them, right? Like, I think you help families identify what they would like to improve, not what we think they should improve, what they would like to improve. And what I really love about your process is that you revisit that. And if it's not working out, there's no punishment. It's more a discussion about what maybe we should do differently, or maybe there's a different direction. As Patricia said, the roller coaster changes. But I don't know about anybody else on the call, but I'm a list maker, but I don't go back and look at my list as often as I should. And if I understand it correctly, our process is we go back and revisit, right, what we said we were going to work on and how we're doing. So I think especially when a family is in crisis and there are challenges, that tool and that voice that support that we lend to that process, I believe is very important.
Yeah,
It's kind
so
of
this is like a, go ahead, Patricia. We get excited.
Now, basically the FANS is like the foundation because we utilize the family strength, and based on those strengths that we build upon. So it's an amazing tool to utilize with families. And the good thing is like, it's nothing complicated. It's just 18 questions. And based on those questions, we just guide the family through the process. For instance, there is a question about spirituality. Spirituality could be defined as many things for different people. So just basically what we do is guide the family to understand exactly, what the question is about. But at the end, it's the family's voice that is in there.
Mhm.
If anybody have any question about the funds, I'm more than happy to answer later. And with that, I'm gonna introduce Michael Ciaffoni.
Thank you, Patricia. So today I'm going to talk about support groups and educational workshops that the Family Partners of Morrison, Sussex County offers. As you see on Monday, we have a Nurtured Heart training course that we're going to be doing. And it's going to be taught by Margarita, an advanced certified Nurtured Heart trainer. She's very, very good at what she does, very detailed. She'll give you extensive information about the Nurtured Heart and just how it can really help out the family in a positive way. So that's on Mondays. Tuesdays, we go into a caregivers Spanish support group that kind of emphasizes the Nurtured Heart approach more in a group setting. And that's going to be from 7:30 to 8:30, run by Patricia. So Wednesday comes to the Hero Huddle. Now that's a support group that I run myself. And this support group basically got together during the pandemic, and we wanted to offer other groups to the community. So we came up with the dads group, and it's basically there just for dads during like a challenging time with the pandemic. And, it's very supportive, judgment-free, and, great group of guys, very, insightful, supportive of each other. And, it's a really great group, and I'm very proud of that group. And moving to Thursday, we have a lunch and learn, which Holly does a great job of running. And this is basically where we get guest speakers to come in on particular mental health challenges and, particular topics that this guest speaker would speak upon. And it's really, really good information, and I'm glad to learn a little bit more about the mental health field. So this is a good opportunity to be able to learn about different topics within the field. The Mom Squad is on Thursdays, very similar to the Dad Squad. Diane facilitates it, and she does an excellent job. And she gets mothers together with, children that have, mental, emotional, behavioral challenges, and they just discuss the joys and challenges of being, a mother of a special needs child, and, very supportive, judgmental free also. And like I said, everybody that runs the support groups and the training courses do an excellent job. And at this point, Friday's youth partnership program, and we do have Krista here, and I'm going to let Krista talk a little bit about the youth partnership program.
Great job, Michael. Thank you for sharing that information. I just wanted to add in too that, as Michael said, all of these scenarios we work really hard to create a safe environment where people feel that, what we talk about stays there. We want people to feel acceptance. We want them, you can come one time and not come back. You can come every week. There's no expectation, or which we really like. It's a place that's there when you need it. So please keep that in mind. And as Michael said, our support group leaders do work very hard to create that environment. And as you'll note on the slide, for our Lunch and Learn, which is an educational slant, we have the YouTube channel, which I've mentioned, and we'll share that link with you. For the Mom Squad, Diane has created a wonderful Facebook group. So say if a mom can't make it to the meeting, but wants to share something, whether it's an inspirational photo or meme, whether there's a problem that she wants feedback on, that is something that's available. And as Diane said, to anybody, not just someone who's receiving our services. So had to add those little nuggets in there, Michael. And I think you were turning it over to Krista to talk youth partnership. Krista and Nate, I think we have the double pleasure today.
Thank you. So I will just point out here too, we have a Discord group for youth partnership. So I'll talk about that a little bit later too, but that's one way that we stay connected with our youth. So for youth partnership, I am the youth coach and I have Nate as my lovely assistant. They help me lots with planning and facilitating this program. So youth partnership as an overview is a group for youth ages 13 to 21 who may be experiencing emotional, behavioral, developmental life challenges. It provides a safe place and non-judgmental environment to have positive interactions with peers. So that's one thing we really are trying to focus on. I think now more than ever is that just positive connections for the youth. So as a youth coach, we try to empower the youth to become advocates for themselves and for their own services. So some topics that we go over, and I didn't mention this before, so we meet Fridays 7 to 8 p.m. So we have an hour window of time right now on Zoom. So we try to spend our hour with a variety of topics. So sometimes we have educational activities. Sometimes we work on self-esteem and leadership skills. We also do a lot of recreational social interactions. So that connecting with peers, game nights, and we also do volunteer opportunities. So again, everything's kind of shifted a little bit because of COVID, but I think we've taken this opportunity online to reach youth where they're at. And we've adapted what we normally do to make it still work. So Nate, did you want to share a note about a youth experience?
Yeah, so before I started working here years ago, I used to be part of YP as just a regular member. And it was advertised to me as just a fun little social group that you can join, and we do fun activities. And at the time I was in high school and I didn't have that many friends. So I feel like with me being here, I'm seeing how I went from socially awkward teenager who talked to like one person to having so many friends. And it's fascinating watching the current YP members doing the same. So I think it's a good group.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that really speaks to what we're doing with YP, and it's a common shared experience. So I think that's great. So just a little fun historical fact: New Jersey was the first state in the country to provide funding for youth partnership programs through the family support organizations. So I think that's a really interesting fact. And from my understanding, since then, we've built off of that. Like Holly mentioned before, other states look to us to model their own programming. And we have an alliance together. So we have monthly meetings with other youth partnership coaches, and we bounce ideas off each other. We've even started to do collaborations. There's a statewide tournament of Family Feud going on right now, and just everything that we've said already that is embracing and connecting these youth together for positive experiences. And I think the biggest factor of this or goal is youth empowerment. So the family support organizations empower youth to fight stigma, along with many other things. So I kind of like to highlight, we're empowering the youth, we're inspiring hope, embracing help, and pursuing happiness. And in this kind of time and setting, again, needed now more than ever, we really just try to build on connections with peers for these youth who maybe aren't able to make those in person. So online has that added benefit, and just letting them know that they're not alone, to reach out. It's okay to feel the way they feel sometimes, and then teaching that education portion so that they know the resources they can go to or to us to help with whatever they may need, and just to build up on that. So that's one of the reasons we also created a Discord group, which is really popular with the youth in this age group right now. So it's just another way for us to connect with the youth throughout the week. And I can happily say that we've had youth that started this program since I've been here who didn't know each other, and now they're on Discord and they're like great friends. So that's just a really, really fun to see that development grow.
Christopher, folks who may not know, explain briefly what Discord is, because it was new to me when you guys introduced it.
Do you want me to go over it real quick?
Yeah, you want to give a minute highlight of Discord for us?
So Discord is an application. It could be either used on your phone, tablet, whatever. And it's like if you took Skype and Facebook and just a regular messaging app and just combined all of those together, and you can stream video games to your friends, and you can call while you're playing games and invite friends through Discord into a game that you're playing. And it's just like a big virtual hangout group. So not only do we have YP Fridays, but so our youth can stay in contact and we can monitor them. We have our Discord group.
And I think it's important to note too that the group that we have on Discord is a closed group. So it's a safe environment. We only let people that we know into it. So I think that for the parents, that's a bonus added of protection, because most youth are already on this platform. So this is just providing like a safe outlet for it. So on addition to Discord, we've also done an art called Straight from the Art journaling program that I've also facilitated with Nate. We were lucky to receive a grant from Morris Arts. So we worked on different art therapy and journaling practices. So that was another group that we were able to do with the youth. And we also have a lineup for the summer that we are finalizing planning, and it will be like an art in the park kind of setup Fridays throughout the summer from 6 to 7:30. So we're very excited to get more information out on that as soon as we have it all planned out for you. So I think
Krista, are you hoping to do some in person? I mean, I think that's what we're trying, or is that not settled yet?
Yes, so that's going to be like the big grabber on this one. We're going to do in person outside at a park so that we can be safely socially distanced and, you know, just in an outdoor environment to get the youth together, because everybody's itching to get back in person. So we're just going to do it in a safe manner, and we'll try and provide some different locations because we do cover Morris and Sussex counties. So we want to make it accessible to everyone. So that's all I have on youth partnership right now. I can answer more questions as we go.
But I'd like to, if I say thank you so much, Krista and Nate, you do a really great job. And it makes me think of something else that we'd like to share, is that we as a team work very hard to provide services and programs that we feel are missing with our families, things that our families want. And that art program was an example of something that we're like, how can we incorporate the arts? Because everyone knows of the power that they have as far as healthy coping skills and what have you. So I'm very proud of Krista and Nate for not only crafting and designing the program, but, you know, it was our first time doing something like that. And we've had 2 6-week sessions that I think were a tremendous benefit to the students who participated. And the summer programs, Krista's trying very hard to safely move toward what we can do face-to-face to, and basically also answering the interests of the youth. So in that vein, I want to make sure that our friends who are watching this understand that we don't operate in a vacuum as to what we provide. For instance, topics that we provide for Lunch and Learn largely are selected because family support partners, when we have our team meetings, they'll say, you know what I really want to know about? Recently in a team meeting, our executive director, Rachel Helt, said, you know, I'm seeing a lot about the dangers of social media. What's happening when these kids, there was an HBO special that was just out recently called Fake Famous, and about how how it has grown in its complication, right? Or how elaborate these things can be, but also how youth tend to sometimes be lured in to participate and don't realize how vulnerable they can be. So as a result, one of our speakers in June 10th, we're going to have folks come from the New Jersey a human trafficking organization to talk to us about what we need to know as caregivers and providers to help our children safely enjoy social media. So we are always open to feedback from you. We are always happy to get feedback from one another. And on that topic, I mean, Diane, do you want to talk a little bit about what you've done with the Mom Squad in that regard?
Thank you, Holly. What I do with the Mom Squad is basically an open conversation. And I just wanted to interject there before I go any further, Holly. With the Mom Squad, and I don't know how the other groups work, so they might be able to speak to this. You know, some of my moms come to me at a point where they're tired, they're beaten down. So in my group, I offer them the opportunity to come in whenever you want, come in off camera. You don't have to participate, because basically I want them to know we're just there to support them. Even if hearing somebody else talk about their journey helps them that night, that's perfectly fine. What we do as far as speakers is we have an open conversation every week, every other week, or I try to listen what conversations are going on. A few months ago, I spoke to Holly about a few subjects because I was starting to hear a lot of women, a lot of caregivers stating, I don't know how to get back to who I am after this journey. So we are looking for a speaker on self-worth and empowerment. We also had a lot of families that were in the group stating, I've been on this journey for 2 years, and now my youngest has said, you've never had time for me. So now we're going to have a speaker to come in and talk about, when you're on that journey, how do you focus on the child that is having those challenges, but not leave those other family members behind? And as a family who had been through it with 4 children, it's hard, because you don't realize, you think you're keeping everybody safe and secure and you're doing what you need to do in that moment. And it's not until you take a breath do you realize, okay, you're probably absolutely right. So back to, again, I basically just try to keep an ear to what is going on in my group. And also I put out on our Facebook page, any suggestions for topics, please put them on the Facebook page. And again, I just wanted to let anybody know on the call, if you know somebody who just needs a support group, please send them our way. Everybody is welcome in our support group.
And I want to add it to that. Thank you, Diane. I think you described the support group beautiful. And is this about it? Our support group, all of them, is more like provide a safe environment for parents to be a parent and to talk about our feelings. That is not easy for us, because we are always take care of others and we forgot us. So I think that is beautiful. And also I want to talk about as well the Spanish group. We have the Spanish group on Tuesday now. Patricia is running. Help me, please, Patricia. So we create this group as well. That's the beauty, as Holly say, we provide bilingual services. That's why my pronunciation is so beautiful, because I speak Spanish, my private language. So we have that group. And the other thing that is beautiful in our organization, and we try to adapt the people culture. For example, in Spanish culture, we use WhatsApp, because we don't use too much Facebook. So we try to go wherever the families is better for them. So we have chat in WhatsApp in the Spanish group, and as well as Diana and Michael made it for the support group, is to create that connection in the way that is better for them, because we don't know everything. We just here for provide the bridge to find out the resources. And as someone mentioned, I don't remember who, we are training in Nurture Heart, all of us. And we have some certified advanced trainers. I am one of those. And Nurture Heart approach is one of the tools that New Jersey is utilizing for all organizations, for the school, for the FSO, they spend a lot of money training people to learn the tool and make it real in New Jersey. And it's happening, and we are there, and we are trying to promote all this beautiful tool with the families. Now we are running in Spanish, Monday, 7 to 8, a 6 weeks course. And we are thinking in doing English as well. Our Holly is a Nurture Heart advanced certified trainer as well. So this is our, I think, another power tool that we have as a family partner, and it's beautiful. And I think it's helping to change our culture in New Jersey. It's not just for FSO, it's Children's System of Care is utilizing this tool for making this world different, trying to collaborate with that.
Yeah, you know, Margarita, it's interesting too, because folks might not know, as I had mentioned, that other states look to our children's system of care and what systems we have in place. But with the Nurtured Heart is worldwide. However, New Jersey is miles ahead of other states in, as Margarita was saying, implementing it, not just through the children's system of care, but we have schools in New Jersey who everyone from the crossing guard to the superintendent are Nurtured Heart trained, with the concept being, if by the way, last Thursday in June, I'll be doing a 1-hour overview of Nurtured Heart. And as Margarita said, I am sure we'll be offering more trainings for Nurtured Heart moving forward based on demand and interest. But there's a lot to be said for what Nurtured Heart can do for our children, but also just for us as caregivers, because I think especially coming out of the year and a half that we're coming out of, you know, we all need the best tools that we can have to move forward in a positive way. So we are largely responsive to what we feel our families need and resources that we have available. So that is there, I would like to open up the floor if anybody has questions, or if my team can think of something else that we'd like to share that we haven't shared so far. Please speak up, pop off mute, or drop something in the chat if there's a question, a burning question that you have. My team members are never quiet, and they're being very quiet. Okay, well, I'll tell you on the screen while you're thinking, I'll still gonna be watching the chat. We have YouTube. We have that we mentioned about that there's probably close to 35 presentations that we've made over the past year and a half that are available to watch at your convenience. We have some in Spanish. And as Diane was talking about bringing speakers into the Mom Squad, we also try to once a month bring a speaker, of course, in Spanish, into the Spanish support group to talk about topics, again, that the parents are indicating they need support with. We are very close to securing a speaker for June on self-care, which I know sounds like a nice thing, but it's not a nice thing. It's an essential thing for caregivers to put on their list of priorities. The Facebook group we talked about with Diane, we have Facebook in general, which is where you'll find promotions on our events, but you'll also find the Mom Squad group. We do posts on Instagram. Of course, we've got our website. And as we had mentioned earlier in the presentation, our warm line, 9 to 5, give us a call. If you're not even sure, maybe you have a situation and you're not sure who's the best person to go to or how to go about things exactly, give us a call and we're always happy to help. And then of course you have my email and my contact information. We are here for you. And I hope that you have gained a sense that we are a wonderful combination of structure and policy and certification and credentials, but we also have an awful lot of heart in what we are doing, because we all have had our own struggles. We all are on our own journeys. And Krista, now might be a good time for that last slide that we were going to put up, in that this is a little bit about what a support organization is about. And I'm going to read it, and I'm going to say, read it yourself. We will share it with you after the presentation. But as a supporting parent, my message is, I am a stranger to you now, but let me walk with you for a while, because I have been where you are and where you are about to go. I have no answers. I offer instead my hand, my heart, my listening ear, my time, and my experience. so that one day you can turn to another and say, I am a stranger to you now, but let me walk with you for a while because I have been where you are and where you are about to go. I have no answers. I offer instead my hand, my heart, my listening ear, my time, and my experience, so that one day you can turn to another and say, we love this. We talked about this in the team meeting. Madeline, one of our team members, shared this with us. She's used it many times before. And I really hope you understand that we come providing resources that are science and data-based with trainings and certifications, but there's an awful lot of heart and really big ears that listen to what the needs are, and hands and feet and mouths and technology that help us help you. So that is really, I think, the heart of what we want you to know about family support organizations, and that we welcome your participation. We're grateful you've made time for us in your day. And I'm seeing quiet chats, but I hope that folks, if you have questions, that you will reach out to us afterwards or at any time, because we are grateful for the role that we have in the lives of your children and the lives of your career and then the lives of your community. So I think with this, I'm going to sign off unless my team has anything else they want. I see lots of smiles and lots of nodding heads. We are here to serve and we are grateful to serve. And we thank you for making Family Partners of Morris and Sussex County a part of your day. Stay healthy, everybody.
So long.
Bye-bye.